Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and a huge welcome to wherever you are around the world, and welcome to today's Postgrad Insights session. Today's session is part of a week-long festival, which will focus on various different aspects of student life, postgraduate student life, which will begin today and with today's session with TTI, so Tektronix Industries, who will cover Milwaukee tools. Offering graduate roles all the way up to university courses at universities all around Europe and the UK, leading to our final session on Friday, which will focus on accommodation for students. So just before I hand you over, a reminder that this is a live session. This is being streamed live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And if you do miss any of this session, head over to postgrad.com, where this session will be hosted on demand. And if you have any questions, to email myself, gareth@postgradsolutions.com. At this stage, I'd like to hand you over to Liam, who represents Tektronix Industries. He will be with you for the next 30 to 45 minutes, followed by a lovely case study from Hannah, who is a representative there as well, followed by a Q&A. So I will see you at the end. Liam, over to you.
Thanks, Gareth. Hi, guys. I'm just going to give you a 15-20-minute presentation overview of TTI and more importantly Milwaukee, which is what we're here today to discuss. So I am going to share my screen. If you can just bear with me 1 second. Just give me 1 second, guys, and then the screen should share. There we go.
Brilliant. Thanks, Liam.
So, guys, my name's Liam Whelan. I'm the Director of National Accounts for Milwaukee in the UK. So what is TTI? TTI is now a $13 billion plus behemoth of the power tool industry. As you can see there, guys, the journey starts from 1985 all the way through to now 2022, where we have passed the $13 billion mark in 2022, as I've just stated. We really are a truly global business with covering 44 countries across Europe, Middle East and Africa. And as you can see on the bottom there, we have Milwaukee, AAG, Ryobi, which is another our consumer brand, and a lot of you guys who are watching this will know Vax, which is obviously the vacuum cleaner industry. As you can see there, 2022, we passed $2 billion just in EMEA itself, which was plus 15% on the previous year. We have head offices all over continental Europe, as well as here just outside London in the UK in Marlow, which is where myself and my team are based. We started the graduate leadership program back in 2014. Since then, we've employed over 200 graduates, with over 100 of them being promoted many times over since then. And the growth that we achieved, that I'll talk a little bit more about in the presentation, will continue to drive our recruitment plans. So, progression within Milwaukee in the UK. A few examples of graduates here that we took on from 2016, 2019, 2021. And guys, you can see the level of progression that's available here at Milwaukee in the UK. And it just keeps going. I could have put another 25, 30 people on here, but I've just picked out 6 of them. And it's not just moving into national accounts, but they go all over the business, whether that's in product management, as Cameron's done now, as a marketing executive at the bottom. The opportunities are endless for the right graduates. So moving on to Milwaukee, our culture. We talk a lot about disrupting and innovating within this business, and it's a massive part of where we are. What allows us to disrupt the market is our continuous communication with the end user and hiring the best people. But ultimately, our vision really is to deliver the ultimate productivity and safety on the modern job site with the disruptive innovation, technology, and solutions for that professional end user. And that's what we do better than anybody. So the history of the brand, going back to in the States, 1924, all the way through now to 2023. And there's been many key milestones, but probably the biggest one was in 2008 with our launch of M18 and M12, driven by the red lithium-ion batteries. We truly are the world's fastest growing professional power tool brand. As you can see there across the EMEA, we grew 47% in 2021 and plus 20 annual growth for the past decade, which is phenomenal. And as you can see, it just continues and continues. And 2022, we grew that 25% that we were talking about there on that screen. UK sales started at $5 million 15 years ago to now plus 200 million. End user driven organization. We're continuously talking to that end user on the ground through our job site solutions team. And we're investing that growth back across existing and new categories. We really are an R&D. We are not a Me Too brand. We research, we develop, and we manufacture. And we truly are, as I've mentioned already, global. And as you can see there, over the past 3 or 4 years, we have massively invested in our manufacturing facilities across the globe. So Milwaukee, it really is about cordless leadership. It really is about talking to that end user and disrupting as we go. So this is about cutting the cord. This is about getting rid of petrol for the environment. It's good that we are at the forefront of this technology, guys. Always talking to that core vertical, that end user, no matter what trade they're in. So with the brand, the M18, we enter, we expand, then we excite, and then we excel. And as you can see, it's across all of the spectrum of any job that needs doing on that is cordless, and any job that needs doing on that site. So in our M18, the real backbone of our business, we have over 215 solutions on the one system. Every product that you see on that screen there, that battery in the middle, one of those batteries fits onto one of those tools, and it's backwards compatible for the past 17 years. And it's there to upgrade, we outwork, and we outlast all the competition. And as you can see, if it's M18, it fits all. And M18 fuel is driven to outperform. We've got the power state brushless motor, the Red Link Plus intelligence, plus the red lithium battery packs. We really are, guys, a tech company that manufactures power tools. And this is the power state brushless motor is what powers it all. In our subcompact M12 range, it's over 100 tools now on the one system. And again, similar to the M18, if it's M12 battery, it fits all those products that you see on that screen there. And it really is driven to outperform. We have a commitment to sustainability, whether that's battery recycling, reducing the packaging, long-lasting technology, and our new MX Fuel, which is our light equipment and zero emissions on site, no cords, no petrol, guys. This is all about the environment and the sustainability message. So as we've mentioned, we are a power tools company, but more than that, we are a solutions provider. We've now massively gone into the outdoor power equipment market. Again, the sustainability message, no petrol products. This is all battery powered, but these products now are delivering what petrol products used to deliver. We have our USB red lithium ion. Again, 2 times more runtime than the alkaline, and such a reduction on the environmental impact, with one of these batteries being charged up to 2,500 times will save 6,000 alkaline batteries. You can imagine the effect that has on the environment, guys. We have One Key, which is our intelligent connected to products, and this is fantastic. It's got digital inventory, tool tracking, and it also connects to the tools. For every power tool we have, there is an accessory to go with it. With over 3,000 accessories in the range, we manufactured over 35 million drill bits last year, and we are fast approaching being the biggest manufacturer of power tool accessories in the world. Over 800 hand tools that we now have in our range. And again, it's not just a lick and stick. This is disruptive technology that is going into a very historical market in the hand tools, but we are changing the face of it. Pack out, probably my favorite. My favorite pack, this has just been a phenomenon for us. And if you look there, it is the most versatile, the strongest product on the market, and it has been a phenomenal success since we launched it 4 years ago. And as you can see, it's got over 100 possible combinations, and the market absolutely, the tradesmen love this product and this range. Everything we do is about staying safe and staying productive on site, whether that's dust management, tool control, PPE, the job site visibility with our TrueView range of lighting, and also the vibration and noise reduction with Whitefinger and so on is very important. We now have over 350 PPE solutions, whether that be ear protection, high-vis vests, helmets, safety glasses. It's a really is a great range of PPE now that we have. And again, guys, we're not just a power tool company, we are a solutions provider. That message of talking to that end user, we now have job site solutions across the globe and across EMEA. And we have massively upped the headcount in this in the past 3 years. And we've already reached that 450 headcount across EMEA. And as you can see, over 56,000 activities to users, 55,000 plus company database across Europe, 76,000 visits. And it is a huge part of why we are what we are. We're continuously talking to that end user on the ground, which allows us to give them the products across the 6 categories that we need, that we know they need on a daily basis. Our digital has ramped up massively again over the past couple of years, and you can see the numbers that we're now churning out all over the web. Whether it be YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, we're everywhere. We also have, we've got the digital piece, we still have the literature that we print out, and it's not as much as we used to because most of it's now put into the digital. When we look at the end user, not only are we visiting sites and talking to the end user daily, but we are covering massive events all over the globe. It really is an incredible sight to see when you see one of our events, and we do it better than anybody. So, corded to cordless, this is what we do, guys. And now, Gareth, that is the end of the presentation.
I believe at this stage we've got Hannah Steele, who is a live case study, as you are. So Hannah, if you would like to come on at this point, I don't know if you're planning on sharing your screen, but if you wanted to, then you can. But if not, I'll leave it with you for the next 10 minutes. And thanks for your time, Liam.
Thank you, Gareth. Cheers, guys.
Thank you, Liam. Hello, everyone. So I just thought we'd come on and have a little chat to you as someone who has been through the graduate programme. So I joined in February 2021. I had a it was super easy to apply, put your CV in, video interview, answer some questions, go to a really friendly assessment centre where you got to meet loads of people, talk to people, get to know not only the other people applying, but there was such a large range of members of the team there. So Liam was there, you had national account managers there, you had a couple of FMEs there. It really gave you a really good feel of the company you were coming into. So I started as a field marketing executive. In this role, I went around selling to lots of accounts, helping them with their marketing activities, putting up stands, and I got involved in some really, really cool events. So I went to tool fairs, Screwfix Live, and all sorts of activities. These were a really, really good learning opportunity. They were also loads of fun, really, really busy, but lots and lots of fun. So I did that role for about 14 months, and then I got promoted into an FME supervisor position. The FME supervisor position meant I now led a team of graduates coming into the program. So throughout this year, I looked after around 13 graduates, seeing people from onboarding all the way through to helping them apply and get those next promotions and really taking their career forwards. This year was a fantastic step into management for me, and it also enabled me to interact with group managers of our resellers. So it really, really took my sales up another step. In this year, I also got the opportunity to go to our Barcelona conference. So once a year, the European Milwaukee team throw an international conference for us. This was 3 weeks in Barcelona, launching all our new products for 2023, interacting with the whole European team, all our large customers coming over, and 3 weeks in Barcelona. It was great. So after that, I did my year as my supervisor, and then in April this year, I got promoted through to a national account executive role. This national account executive role has me overseeing accounts, and I have a special focus on the graduate and leadership program. So you can see that throughout this program, there's really, really, really rapid progression. Not only have you got people like me who've gone down the FME supervisor NAE role, you will have seen on your presentation, you've got Maddie and Chloe. Maddie and Chloe have come through FMEs, NAE roles. Now they're running channels for us as national account managers. We've got people who've gone into marketing. We've got people who've gone across to our independence accounts. The opportunities in this role really are unlimited.
Thank you for elaborating further on that, and we're going to get onto the Q&A any moment now, but I want to kind of talk about what you just mentioned about the 3-week Barcelona fair, because it can always be difficult to tell with a job just how much fun you're going to have in it, because, you know, jobs are hard work. They're there to be hard work, and, you know, especially for a graduate student just coming out of university who's not had to do particularly all that much work in the last few years, then, you know what I mean, from a recruitment point of view, then it's very different. But how important was that for you, for a, you know, a work-life balance in terms of having fun and, you know, making the job enjoyable?
So I think something Milwaukee do really, really, really well, and they have a really heavy focus on, is they really, really help and guide you with what you need to do on a daily basis, but they also give you the freedom to plan your month around it. So you get the guidance you need when you first join and become a working member of society, but you also have this freedom to plan it the way you need to do it, as long as it hits what you need to do.
Absolutely.
So, and then if you're doing really, really well and showing yourself, you get to go and do amazing things. We've got people at the Isle of Man TT this week. We've got people in people like loads of us went to Barcelona. We get people at CEF Live later in the week. We've got people at Screwfix Live in October. We've got members of our team going all over the place doing all sorts of things. So I really think the possibilities are endless. And yes, you're working straight for your 3 weeks in Barcelona, but you get your time off, and then you get time off in Barcelona. So you get time to go and explore and do things. Like, there's not many graduate programs which will give you the ability to do that.
And Hannah, can we go back to the very start of your journey with Milwaukee as well? So could you just give the viewers an insight as to what you were doing before and, you know, the steps immediately before you joined here? You know, was it anything special? Did you have to have the qualifications linked to what the job is, or did you just see the job as a good fit for who you are?
So I think that with this, we hire based on your personality. On a graduate program, you can train people. So as long as you've got a degree, you've got a passion to learn and to go far, then it's going to be great. And you can put your application in. It doesn't matter what you've studied. We've got people on our team who've studied drama. We've got people on our team who've studied business. We've got people on our team who've studied history with Italian. Yeah. Like it's all about who you are, and we can train you and teach you what we need from you.
So effectively, you know, it'd be fair and say for anybody watching this, whether they're watching live or whether they're watching in the coming months, you know, it doesn't matter who you are, what you've studied, what level of study you've gone in at. It's all about who you are and the enthusiasm for the job, and you are whatever you want to make it to be. It can be that.
Yeah, as long as you've got I think it's a 2-2. Lauren, can you confirm that for me?
Absolutely. So, I mean, we would look for anyone who's got a degree from a 2-2 or above. So you're exactly right, Hannah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Excellent. So, Hannah, thanks for that. That was a great insight into, you know, somebody that has, you know, been there from the start, which is fantastic. At this stage, I'd like to welcome back on Liam and Andrew as well. Andrew has been in the background, so we're just going to engage in a Q&A, I believe. So we have had some questions coming out. I'm going to start with the questions that have been asked in the chat so that we can all see it. In terms of what opportunity do international students have, and presumably they're touching upon what eligibility is there and what do they have to do to ensure that, you know, they are right for the job and that they can apply. Liam, if I can start with you on that one.
Yeah, they just have as long as you have a right to work visa for the UK, it's absolutely, yeah, no worries at all.
And is there an English language requirement? Presumably you want them to be able to speak good English, because
absolutely.
Obviously the people they're liaising with will obviously be English, but you know, do you help with that? Have there been examples in the past where maybe it's not been up to scratch and you guys can help?
Not really, Gareth. No, we would expect certainly for a job in the UK, a certain level of English. I think on that, this is obviously see my presentation. This is EMEA wide. So when we talk about EMEA, it's Europe, Middle East, and Africa. So there's opportunities Europe wide with TTI as a business, and certainly with Milwaukee as a brand. So these opportunities are not just, obviously we're here today talking in the UK, but there are opportunities everywhere.
Which is really important to remember as well, because one of the things I've taken from your presentation is just how diverse you guys are, and how, you know, you're not just power tools, you are a solution, like you mentioned. So there's so many different aspects to how your roles would integrate with each and every individual that applies. So Lauren, if I could bring you in at this point and talk about the application stage. So a student is really interested in applying off the back of maybe watching this, seeing one of your other adverts somewhere else. How long can a student expect that process to take? And is there anything that they can do to speed up the process?
So we do have quite a thorough application process. So what I will do, obviously, after this webinar today is I will follow up with everyone and I will highlight what the requirements are to apply for the graduate leadership programme with TTI in Milwaukee, UK. So there is a specific link that you would need to apply to, where you would need to have your full up-to-date CV. And once you've applied, there is a thorough screening process, because what would happen is once you've applied, you would complete a video interview. And then your video interview would be reviewed. And if you pass that stage of the process, we would then invite you to our assessment centre. So throughout the year, we hold a number of different assessment centres, which, you know, as Hannah sort of told you a little bit more about, it is a really fantastic couple of days. Normally we do them over about a day and a half, and we invite graduates from all over the UK. You know, we have opportunities right from Scotland, right down to the south, to the west, to the east, all over the UK. So I think the great thing about these opportunities are, you know, it doesn't matter where you're based in the UK, you can apply for these roles. Or equally, like Liam had said, if you are an international student, but you have right to work in the UK, then that's okay as well. But yeah, I mean, back to the application process, once you've applied, I think you can expect to hear back within about a week, because as I say, it is a bit of a different process because we have that thorough screening process. But, you know, you will be, once you've applied, you will complete that video interview. Once that's been reviewed, if you're successful, you will then hear back with regards to the next steps. And if unfortunately you're not successful, we would of course be in touch to let you know that as well. So yeah, I will be following up and sending out that link to everyone.
And a couple of questions off the back of that then, to begin with, and it's a question that's been asked in the chat there about the driver's license for this position. What are the absolute fundamentals to apply?
The fundamentals is right to work in the UK, to have a degree at a 2-2 or above, and a driving license is required to work in this role. The role of a field marketing executive is field-based. It's traveling around to see clients and customers. So you will need to have a full UK driving license. You know, as part of the role, you get a company vehicle. So unfortunately, that is a requirement for the role, because it's not a role that can be done by using public transport. You know, it is going out to see different customers. So a driving license would be required.
And when a student is applying and they're looking at handing in their CV, their resume, if you're watching, what are you looking for specifically? It was a question I asked Hannah earlier about, you know, the kind of people that are working with you and how relevant they are to everyone. What are you looking for within someone's personal statement, their job application, that would make them stand out?
I mean, the key thing that is looked at through the application process is the fact that you have a degree. You know, just going back to what Hannah says, it doesn't matter what degree you have, you can have studied any subject, but as long as you must have a degree or be sort of graduating this year to be able to be considered for a graduate position with us. I mean, it's great to sort of see if there is some work experience, but it's not a must. I mean, ultimately down to this role, it is about sort of that level of education and having the degree. So that is really what it comes down to.
Excellent. And just one question that has popped up in there in terms of a student there being an MBA major, possessing the IELTS qualifications. Just if you are watching, just a reminder, this is recorded. Lauren will be reaching out to you afterwards. You've mentioned that you're based in Bangladesh, and I think Liam's already mentioned that, you know, you have to have the right to work in the UK and live here as well. So Lauren will follow up with you afterwards and see how we get on. Again, Lauren, if you can navigate me in the right direction here, whether it's Liam or Andrew or Hannah, but if you can talk to me about the role itself in terms of what somebody can expect, you know, maybe more case studies in terms of how long people are in the roles for, enjoyability in the job as well, you know, guessing from Hannah's glowing reference of the company, what a great place it is to work. You know, presumably a lot of people stay in their roles there and have that opportunity to enhance their career.
So I will hand over to Hannah to talk a bit more about the role and sort of the day-to-day, but I mean, it's great. What we expect is that somebody is within their role as a field marketing executive for at least 12 months before they consider applying for another position internally, which, you know, is a great amount of time to be able to come in, to really understand the company and to really learn within your role and become an expert at that before you can then consider moving on to the next step. But Hannah, I'm sure you can give a little bit more insight into sort of the day-to-day and what would be expected in the role.
Thanks, Lauren. So day to day, I'll sort of start you through what the first couple of weeks would look like, and we'll go from there. So when you join, you'd come down to the office, we'd spend a couple of days onboarding you, you'd meet your supervisors, we'd introduce you to all the really important people for your day-to-day working. So we'll explain to you how customer services work, servers work, you'll meet Lauren and HR, and it's a really good couple of days for you to get to know your supervisors, get to know the people who are joining at the same time as you and who you're going to be going on that journey through the company with, and some of those people will become really, really, really good friends of yours. So we do that for a couple of days, then you'll spend a few days going out with someone who is currently on the graduate program. They will have been here for 6 months or so, and they'll really show you the day-to-day what they do, going into the accounts, teaching you to sell. And then you'll do that for a couple of weeks, and then we'll start sending you out by yourself or supported with someone to really start to get to grips with your accounts and the selling, and to set you free to really develop your own style. Now, that might sound really daunting, but through all that time, we will put you through sales training, negotiation training, presentation training. You'll go on product training too, so you'll constantly be trained and developed. Also, one thing you'll really find with the Milwaukee team throughout this time is everyone is there to help you. You have one supervisor, but you'll have lots of other people on your team who, if you have a question, you can pick up the phone to and have a chat with them about. If you're going to a meeting and you're not too sure, you can take someone else with you. So there's an incredible amount of support. But on a day-to-day level, what you'll be doing is going around the accounts. Now, whether this is as a brand ambassador, so really teaching them about the brand and explaining to them why they need to be excited about our brand, and helping them, train them in the product so that they can sell our products to customers, or selling into the branches, or running trade mornings, which are like mini little events where you'll go set up tools for a day and talk to the end users and help an account sell lots of products out. So there's a wide range of things you'll be doing on a day-to-day basis. And then obviously we spoke earlier about all the different events. And then within 12 to 18 months, we hope that you'd be ready to go forth on your next Milwaukee adventure.
Brilliant. There's two things I take from that, Hannah, and I'm sure Lauren and Andrew, you'll come in as well at this stage. First of all is the training. There aren't many opportunities for anyone in life, really, when they come out of their studies to go into a role which will train you, educate you on such day-to-day life things within the sales industry, within any industry, really. You know, to have those skills and to learn about CRM systems, to learn about basic sales training, to learn about techniques used within the industry must be incredible. And the other thing that I took from it as well, Hannah, and again, you can elaborate further if you want to, is you mentioned how everyone's there to help you in terms of, you know, in your first few weeks, somebody's going out on the road with you, showing you how to do the job, how to do the role, the best things to do. People associate field roles, I think, sometimes with feeling a bit lonely. You know, it's a quiet world out there, and I think that's so important. How important is that to your employees, to make them feel welcome, special, and most importantly, like they're part of a team? And that must be a big coup for you guys. Lauren, if I start with you on that one.
Yeah, definitely. And I think this is sort of links a bit back into what Hannah had mentioned earlier. I mean, you know, I think the great thing about coming into the Milwaukee graduate program is that, you know, once you get to know everyone, you do end up making these sort of lifelong friends. And, you know, from speaking with Hannah, what I understand is that, you know, sometimes some of the guys will be out on the road, but, you know, they'll be on the phone to each other. There's still very much that connection between the team, which I think is important, because, you know, you are right, when you're out in a field-based role, it can feel a bit lonely. You know, you can be working independently, you're traveling, you're out at customers, you may be working alone, but it's just really nice to know that, you know, you always have that support there. You can pick up the phone and speak to someone else within the team. You can pick up the phone to your supervisor. There's always somebody there should you need. And, you know, they do great things like within the team. I think twice a year they have like a big national team sales meeting where everyone comes together. So I think that's sort of really key points as well. I mean, Hannah, I don't know if there's anything else that you want to add to that, but I think in the day-to-day, that is the main thing, is that, you know, knowing that you can just pick up the phone and speak with your colleagues.
So I think what I'd say on like a day-to-day is every Friday there is a team meeting with your direct team on a Friday afternoon. So it's a really good way to wrap up one week and set off the next week. And everyone's on there together in like your South, North, Scotland, whichever team you're in, which really, really helps with everyone feeling joined and connected. But also that's when you get the events and what they're so good for, because you'll spend 3, 4, 5 days with these people at these events, and then you'll just all get to know each other so well. So although you do spend time out by yourself, you are always surrounded by people whenever you want or need them.
Excellent. And talk to me, Lauren, again, I'm going to go back to you. And again, if you want Andrew to answer it, that's absolutely fine. In terms of what a student can expect in terms of if they've not been successful, do you give good reasons as to why? And presumably they can then reapply at a later stage. Is that how it works?
There is always the option for anyone to reapply for a role at a later stage. I mean, we would give feedback as to why somebody has not been successful. I mean, the screening process, we also use consultants who support us with that process. And, you know, there is always a follow-up. You would always be informed if you've not been successful. And at every opportunity, we would always look to give detailed feedback. And, you know, in situations, if somebody would want a little bit more feedback, you know, we're always open to giving that. If you feel like you've been contacted and you think you would want a little bit more feedback as to why perhaps you've not been successful, we can always have a discussion and sort of just give a little bit more insight, because, you know, we appreciate that, especially going through recruitment processes, having some constructive feedback is really useful, because say perhaps if you're not successful at this stage, we want to be able to help you so that you can take that feedback on board and support you with future processes moving forward.
And does a student have an option to relocate? So obviously, if they, you know, in the UK, we saw the offices and where you guys have got field sales roles available. If they're based, let's say, in London, and they decided, right, I want to go for a role in Scotland or in the southwest of England, is that option available to them if they didn't get that role in London?
Yeah, if they are open to relocation. I mean, as a company, we don't offer relocation packages, but if somebody is happy to relocate, then, you know, that's absolutely fine. I mean, we had that at the last assessment centre we held. We had somebody who lived completely west and now they've moved completely east. So, you know, I think, again, that is just the great thing about these roles. You know, we recruit for roles all over the UK. We're taking in graduates, you know, multiple graduates every year. So that would absolutely be an option. If somebody's happy to relocate, then it can be accommodated.
Excellent. There has just been one question that's come in about what growth opportunities are in the role, such as promotion paths. Where could I be in 5 to 10 years? I think we've already kind of answered that. If you just want to touch on that a little bit more in terms of, you know, where could you be in the next, you know, you said 12 months before you can then obviously apply for enhancing your career. Where could you be in 10 years if you applied now?
I mean, within a management role, really. It depends on what. I think the great thing about the opportunity of joining the graduate leadership program is that, you know, you're really in control of where you want your career to go. You know, like Hannah had explained and Liam had explained also, is that, you know, whether you decide you want to go into marketing or whether you want to stay within the national accounts team, you know, we've got so many divisions across Milwaukee, you know, we've got our independent trade sales team, we've got our job site solutions, so the people that actually go out and demonstrate the tools on site. So there's so many opportunities. I think it depends on really where you want to go. If somebody's quite happy moving into a role and they're quite happy staying in that role, that's fine. If somebody's like really wanting to move into a management type position, then that's also, you know, something that can be worked towards. And I think the great thing is that you really are given the support from your team, from management, to be able to support you to be where you want to be. But I mean, ultimately, it is achievable to be able to move up towards a management position within sort of 10 years. Excellent. We've seen it already with people who have been within the company, you know, for even a shorter amount of time. I mean, Hannah's a great example, you know, joining as a graduate herself, going through, you know, the leadership program, and now being in a national account executive role. You know, the opportunities are really endless.
Andrew, I'm just conscious that we haven't really asked you a question yet. Do you have anything to add before we wrap up in terms of anything that Liam's obviously mentioned in his presentation, or anything we spoke about between myself, Lauren and Hannah? Is there anything you'd like to enhance further on?
No, I think we've covered everything, to be fair. I mean, yeah, we've kind of outlined the opportunities, the growth of the business as a whole, and therefore the growth of the team that we'll need. So yeah, as the business in Milwaukee in the UK grows almost exponentially, then we need to develop that core field team, and then from that the opportunities are fairly rife across the whole of the business, really, be that in the UK or Europe, for opportunities for people to move into positions as promotions. So yeah, I mean, yeah, we've said it a million times, but it's a great business with a great future, and we're looking for great people to join it.
Excellent. And that's a fantastic note to finish on, I feel. Look, Lauren, Liam in the background, Andrew and Hannah, thank you for your time today. It's been an excellent session, a really engaging one. And there have been loads of questions come in. I can assure everybody that is watching that hasn't had an answer to what they expected, we will be in touch afterwards. Laura mentioned earlier that every student that is watching today will be reached out to on an individual basis. So thank you for watching. It's been a great, engaging, contentful session, and we can catch up over the next 5 days with various different universities and fresh accommodation at the end. But for now, huge thank you to Milwaukee and TTI. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Guys.